Waikato, welcome to another edition of the Hot Air Sports Podcast with me, Macca, and me good mate Mahona. How's Auckland treating you today, buddy?
Bloody cold, mate. It's bloody cold. Oh, single figures this morning, mate. Ice on the windshield. It's absolutely crazy. But it must be colder where you are.
Yeah, we had a single figure with a little line next to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. A negative. But you guys are so positive down there in the Wairarapa.
In the South Wairarapa, where July, all of July, it's Christmas. The festival of Christmas has started and we're underway.
Festival of Christmas. Get down there and experience it yourself, people. It's an absolutely fantastic time. Mate, we haven't spoken for ages. I feel like strangers.
We do feel like strangers. Luckily,
so
I remembered your name. Yes, there is a lot to talk about. And let's start with our favourite, football. The European champs are on at the moment. And, England, what a football team.
Wow. They are the Brazil of Europe, aren't they? They are just playing some stunning stuff. But it's not just England, is it, mate? Wait, Macca, wake up, mate. Wake up. Sorry. Yeah, no, Gareth, he has that effect on people.
Just the mere mention of it put me to sleep.
Oh, England football team so drab. But they're not the only ones. France are playing pretty poorly as well. They haven't scored very many goals.
Certainly not hitting their straps. Tell you who is playing well is the Netherlands. Even though they got beat by Austria in the group stages, that was a fantastic game. And Cody Gakpo is just performing miracles on the left wing.
Yeah, he's got that one move where he cuts inside and shoots. You know, it works in international football because they don't get out there quickly enough. I think in the Premier League, he'd get found out. But I mean, he'd be a good option there occasionally for Liverpool, though. But yeah, man, there's been some freaking fantastic games, though, hasn't there? I mean, I know own goal. I know Chelsea is trying to sign this own goal fella. He's just doing so well in the Euros, top scorer. But yeah, there's been some absolutely fantastic games. For me, the Spanish-Italy game, that was a fantastic game. I loved that. The Spanish wingers are just sensational, aren't they? That Yamal fella who's like 16, he's not even 17 years old.
He's still doing his school exams.
Unbelievable. And the other fella on the other wing, I hope Liverpool sign him, Nico Williams. Wow, what a player. So there's and of course the best of the knockout game so far, that Turkey Austria game the other day was just a fantastic game. It just shows you when both teams want to play football. What a great game, why they actually call it the beautiful game. As opposed to that, let's go back to what we originally were saying. England, my God, could they play a more boring? It's just horrible to watch, isn't it, mate? It's just horrible. They've got so much talent in that side, and then Gareth Southgate, and he refuses to bring on even guys off the bench. You know, they were saved by Jude Bellingham the other day. They were going out for all money, mate, and they deserved to go out, and they were just lucky for me. And I hope Switzerland take them down.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at that side; they've got the player of the year in the Premier League, Phil Foden.
Yep.
They've got the La Liga player of the year in Jude Bellingham.
Yep.
And Harry Kane, who scored, about 93 goals for Bayern Munich this year?
Yep.
All on the same side, yet he can't devise a system where they can all play together. It's
because he has to play Saka.
Said the other day, a Bellingham and Foden, the new Gerrard and Lampard.
Oh, that's a bit I don't know. I mean, in a way, because he's trying to squeeze them both in. For me, I mean, there's other things he could do. He could just at least try to do some other stuff, you know? I mean, I don't think Saka's played very well. I think he's been pretty average. Could easily play Cole Palmer on that side. You know, you could play Anthony Gordon. At least Anthony Gordon's got some pace. I mean, Foden is a number 10 for me. He's playing out on the left. It's not working. Bellingham played out on the left. I don't know what the hell that's about. I mean, for me, you could drop Bellingham back a little bit. You could play. There's so many other things you could do, and he just doesn't. He chooses not to do them. I mean, I did give him credit when he selected the side by dropping Jordan Henderson and Slabhead and a bunch of other players. He brought in some, but he selected Luke Shaw. For fuck's sake, mate. He hasn't played any minutes. Yeah. I mean, I thought England would have learnt their lesson a million times picking injured players. They could have picked another just a serviceable, like Tarek, the guy that plays for Crystal Palace. I could have picked the left, just to give them an option.
I've got another question for you. Why do you play a player in a key midfield position that's never played there full time before?
What, Trent?
I'm talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold. We all know in the future he's probably going to end up being a great midfielder.
Yeah.
But the problem is Southgate's trying it at a major tournament. I mean, he's had, 2 games there for England before the tournament?
He's had plenty of time to sort it before that.
And the other problem is his players who are forward of him, Saka, Kane, and
no runners.
To a lesser degree, Foden, they're not running for him. They're not doing what Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah are doing.
Yep. And the thing is with Trent playing in the midfield, he drops him and then he brings in Gallagher, who's a completely different player. He's like Jordan Henderson, who just, I like running. He runs, he's great off the ball, but we're on the ball. He's just so different. And then he plays him for 45 minutes. Yeah. And then he says, oh, no, bins him off, brings on Kobe Mainu, who plays okay. And they go, oh, here he is. Here's the answer. Well, it doesn't sound like you know what the answer is. No. For me, Adam Wharton's the best the best option, like proper midfielder they've got there, and he hasn't played a minute. So I don't know, man. I just hope they reap what they sow. I mean, if England now are on that easy side of the draw, they end up getting to the final and winning it, and Gareth Southgate goes out like the king, Sir Gareth, mate. It's just England will just say, yep, we got it right. We embraced the defensive style. We came through the tournament. We accelerate. It's just going to be sickening to hear. So I just hope that doesn't happen. I was always a fan of England. I always used to be a fan of England, but just Gareth Southgate, I just can't get behind him, mate. He plays awful, awful football. Well, looking at the side he picked, as you said before, full of great players, I actually put $20 on them to win the tournament. Oh, you did. Actually, looking at the draw, you put some money on England and France, didn't you? Correct. And I've got my money on Portugal and Spain, which is quite interesting because I'm playing you. Portugal are playing France. That's a big game. Yeah. And that's Ronaldo. Oh, my God. Did you see his performance the other night? Time to retire, son. Time to give it away. Crying like a baby because he didn't... He took every free kick. There's a stat going around that he's taken 61 free kicks in international football and he's scored one of them. Why the hell is he still taking free kicks? They've got so many other great players that could take free kicks. So, as much as I hate to say, you got Fernandes there as well. Oh yeah, but I don't know. I think everyone is being hampered by Ronaldo in that side. I think they'll be a better side without him. And I don't think their coach has any balls. I don't think he should not have played the whole game. He played the whole game plus all the only thing was surprising about that was that he took the first penalty in the shootout. Normally he wants the glory one, doesn't he? The fifth one, but that was just disgraceful, mate. Crying like that, just get on with it, mate. I mean, look at Paul Gascoigne when he, in that semi-final when he got to, he cried after the game. Fine if you still got some minutes to play, mate. It just trying to show it's all about him. So I put some money on Portugal. I like the rest of the side, but who knows? Who's your pick? It's going to be interesting. I mean, Switzerland, if they can carry on the way they're playing, they could beat England, and they could. There's a very good chance that they will, if England continue to play the way they're playing. But I read I can't remember where I read it. Might have been in the Athletic, that England have been training with a 3-4-3 formation. Yeah, I heard that. Well, that's just once again goes to show Gareth Southgate doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Yeah. Let's try this. He's just throwing darts, isn't he? I mean, there you could play Trent in his proper position. And you could play Saka as the left wing back. Yeah. Which is probably he'd be better at that as well. So you've got actual wing backs. Yeah, you could. You would be better balanced. But and then you'd have he should have done that he should have done that in the lead up. He should have, Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? So, I mean, as much as it would be nice to see England play some good football, I just can't see it. I can't see how it's going to all of a sudden just click. I mean, they've got, unless, I don't know, I just can't see it. So, I don't see England winning the thing. So, who do you see winning the thing, regardless of who we've got money on?
Wow. I think Spain is really playing well. They've surprised me.
They'd have to be favourites, wouldn't they?
Yep. As I said, the Netherlands are playing really well, but when it comes to the crunch, I don't know if they've got the overall play. Well, I mean, another one who has been playing well is Germany, and this Spain-Germany quarterfinal is going to be an absolute cracker.
And they're at home. Yeah. So they'll have that home support. And I think the German public as well is embracing the side a little bit more than they have in the last 2 or 3 tournaments, because they're playing more German football. The last, they've rediscovered themselves a bit, haven't they? And the big guy up front's a little bit interesting as well.
Yeah. The thing about France too is they can be a bit like their rugby team. They can flatter to deceive, and then suddenly when it comes to the crunch, bang, they put in a 90-minute performance.
And they just seem to do enough. It's like you got oppositional score, then they'll go bang, bang, score 2 goals, and then just pass it around for the rest of the game and just go having a cigarette almost. So they do have some oh my God, some talent in there. So, but Kylian Mbappe hasn't done anything yet.
No.
That could just be a bit scary for everyone else. I mean, I think he will. I think he'll eventually do so. Maybe the mask is affecting him.
Who knows?
Yeah.
The mask of
I see what you did there. Who knows? Well done, mate. Yeah, good work. Good work. That was quick. Quicker than you even worked out.
Yeah,
mate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I'd say Spain would have to be my favourites as well. Probably closely followed by Germany, but they're going to play each other, so one of them will get knocked out. And I would have said before Austria got knocked out that they were a strong contender to be the Greece. But Turkey, oh my God, Turkey, like their fans are bloody nuts, aren't they? And their players aren't close behind.
No, it's not. It's not Turkey. Isn't it? Turkey.
Turkey.
I see even the news presenters in New Zealand now are pronouncing it Turkey.
Since when I did not get this memo. Since when did we have to pronounce this name? Look, do you think when we go to France and we say we're from New Zealand, they go, oh, New Zealand? No, they go Nouveau Zealand. Don't they? They say it in fucking French. It's like Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, you mean? Sorry, I mean, I am not being culturally insensitive saying this. I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying it in English, which is our first thing. This is how we say it. I just don't get that. I don't get. And Chechnya. I'm like, but at Czechia. You're mixing it. Yeah. It's like the Czech Republic. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna pipe in with something else that's probably a bit
bothering you.
Sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm watching a man's sport. I really am not enjoying the women commentators.
Commentary. I can enjoy a woman's commentary. I can, but they have to be super good, They have to stand out. But I just think, I know this is just personal. I mean, and it's probably because we're of a certain age, probably is. So we feel more comfortable. But, I always think an announcer, the sound of it always sounds better if it's from a man's voice, because it's just a deeper tone, and it just, unless you've got a woman with a deep voice, I mean, I'm sorry, it just sounds better. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a bit screechy, isn't it? I mean, it's just a bit screechy. So, but if they're saying the right things, I don't have any problem. Look at someone like Melanie Robinson in the rugby. She's fantastic, and Honey Hirami Smiler. I mean, she's great. So, I mean, there are examples.
I'm not turning the sound off.
No.
I would prefer listening to a Matt Holland or Andy Towns.
Gary Neville. Oh, no, not Gary Neville.
Making the comments rather than Laura, what's her name?
I hear you. And sometimes some of the things she says are a little bit questionable as well.
Yep. Okay, moving on from the European Championships, the Premier League is only a month away. Only a month away.
Bring it on, our favourite sort of football, mate. Liverpool Football Club.
Yep. Gee, Liverpool haven't done anything in the transfer window yet.
Oh my God!
Aaron? What's going on?
There's 8 weeks to fucking go. Just calm your horses. We've been linked to a few players, mainly at the back, aren't they?
Yeah. Well,
I just think relax.
Yeah.
It does.
All the
keyboard warriors.
keyboard warriors. Oh, why is Liverpool so quiet in the market? Well, because everybody else is.
Also,
the only ones we're seeing
Chelsea,
busy at the moment are the clubs trying to avoid the
some of those
PSR
deals are
rules.
bizarre. Some of those deals are bloody bizarre. But yeah, also because Liverpool don't conduct their transfers like that. I don't know why. How many times we have to say this? We're not Manchester United. We don't go out to the press and tell everyone who we're bloody scouting and who we just keep it bloody quiet, and maybe a day or two before we get wind of it, and then they're just signed. That's what happens. And that's quite exciting, actually, for me. I actually quite like it. Nothing. We've signed someone. Woo! It's more exciting to be that than Chelsea. Oh my God, we've signed the 16th player this month, and where the fuck's he going to play? Their squad is just enormous. I just don't know. I mean, the Lewis Hall, the guy from Leicester's just gone to Chelsea as well. I think that might have been a PSR thing as well. The midfielder.
Oh, Keenan Dewsbury Hall.
Keenan Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah.
They've already got like 1,000 midfielders. I don't know where they're going to play. It must be for financial reasons they're doing this.
Well, academy players are being sold for £9 and £10 million.
Yeah, because it's pure profit, and then they can amortize that over a certain period of time, and so it doesn't go on this year's account. So they can just take all that money and say, "There you go, we've got our sums in order." But surely, look, I mean, I'm not an accountant; I don't understand half of this. But surely, eventually, the chickens are going to come home to roost, so to speak, mate. You know,
I mean, you would hope so.
A few years down the line, surely that must all, I don't know, mate, but it's all too complicated for me. But some of those deals, especially the swap deals, there's been a lot of deals that look kind of American in style.
Yep. And it's all to get around the profit and sustainability rules, because teams just don't want to get deducted points. I mean, the rumor going around over the weekend was that Newcastle were willing to let Anthony Gordon go to Liverpool in return for Jarrell Quansah.
Yeah,
I couldn't understand that one, because they're both homegrown players.
The reason you understand is because Newcastle needed to make money, so they put that story out there. They put another one out that Chelsea was after one of their players. Then they went and sold. They went and sold their midfielder, a young guy, to Forest, one of those young midfielders, and they sold that other guy, the winger that I can't pronounce. They sold him to someone, didn't they? And that was pure profit because they bought him. It's just so complicated. But sure, all I can say is that if those rules aren't working, or if they're a bit, why do we have them in the first place? I mean,
they are changing apparently to something even more complicated.
Oh my God! And what about the 160 charges or whatever? Is that ever going to be resolved?
Well, who knows? It's something along the lines of. That's right.
10% of the lowest club or something like that, isn't it? Or
you can spend up to X% of your revenue, total revenue.
That's right.
Whereas at the moment, you can't make more than a X pound loss.
Yeah.
And
this is a sports podcast, not an accounting podcast.
Yeah.
So we're not.
So in the case of Newcastle, when they bought Anthony Gordon, Gamarish, and one other player, I can't remember, and it all totaled about nearly 200 million. But they hadn't sold anybody, and they'd overspent theoretically what they were allowed to spend. So that's why they had to sell, and why they've sold academy products for prices.
And then there's rumors, Chelsea are looking at signing, getting rid of Conor Gallagher, even though he's been there his whole life and all that sort of, because that'd be pure profit. Anyway, look, who are Liverpool looking at signing? What do we need?
I think we need a number 6.
I agree, but that's the one they're always poo-pooing, though, isn't it? It's the one they're saying, oh, it's not a priority, not a priority. It needs to be a bloody priority, doesn't it?
And probably another centre-back.
A left-sided one. That's what everyone's talking about.
Yep.
They're talking about that Italian fella, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, a lot of teams.
Calafiore.
He's a good player.
He is a good player. Very young.
He set up that.
He did. He charged from
didn't he?
He charged from the back like Paolo Maldini, didn't he? He looked impressive, and he's quite a handsome chap too, isn't he?
He's a very attractive young man.
He's a very attractive young man in the Olivier Giroud type of way. Sparkly eyes and the lovely quiff.
Yes. And now everybody else's other favourite team. I'm brandishing the shirt today. The mighty Wrexham.
Well done. Yes.
My second favourite team.
It's either your second favourite team or your most hated. I mean, people just, when you watch the documentary, the people going, fuck you and your stupid fucking documentary. The opposition, hey. It's a great documentary though, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And look, I'm probably one of millions of others that have ended up going out and buying a Wrexham shirt and following the results very closely.
Because of that.
Yeah. And they've made a couple of good signings too.
They have.
They've re-signed the goalkeeper, Arthur Okonkwo.
Yeah, he looked handy.
Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper. And they signed another Lewis Brunt from Brighton, I think.
Okay. But what the thing that comes across in that documentary to me more than anything else is just that they love the club, you know, and that is so important for, you know, when you hear the stories that we hear, right, of clubs struggling so much when they get an owner in and all the supporters going, please be a good owner, you know, please. And then they strip all the assets and they do something, you know, and then they sell the ground and they just do some awful things. So many owners are just terrible, terrible owners. And the thing that comes through the most in that whole documentary, and I know it's a bit propaganda-ish, but they do love the bloody club. They do. And they love the area and they love the people. And that's so important. So important. So
100%.
You know, credit 100%. To them. Credit to them. Good on them.
Yeah, I hear there's certainly the opposite of the likes of Mike Ashley and the Glazer family and
and when you see people from like the Midwest of America traveling there and go, we want to go to Wrexham, you know, like, what the hell? You know, they're turning up and going, where's the ground? It's like, what? You know, that has to be great for that part of Wales, surely.
Quite right. Now, as a resident of our biggest city, Mahona,
yes,
you've got a new A-League club up there.
We do.
How do you think their player purchases have been going so far?
Mate, it's interesting. It's hard to tell. I mean, because so many names I just don't know, you know, and you have to sort of do a bit of Googling and find out, you know, what they are. But so what I do, I just watch the Facebook pages and see how the real fans, the people that are really, really, really invested in it and what they're saying. And to me, most of them seem pretty bloody happy with who we're signing and the way we're doing it. Obviously, there's some, once again, oh, not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. We need more. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think as someone who probably follows?
I think they've made some very astute signings, getting the likes of Tommy Smith, you know, to come back to New Zealand.
Absolutely.
Is a great signing. I think the 2 or 3 signings they just picked up the other day, Scott Galloway and Dan Hall especially, fantastic players. And Dan Hall has come from Central Coast Mariners, who have just won back-to-back A-Leagues. So
that's right.
So, you know, he's a good player.
Yep, bit of winning experience for sure.
Yep, and Joey
and there's more to come.
Who used to play in the A-League and has been playing overseas. He's improved as a player, so he'll be one to watch. And, you know, going back to who else did they sign early? Oh, Max Matter.
They announced all those academy guys too.
Yeah, and the 4 academy guys who I'd never.
It'll be interesting to see how they, especially in the first couple of seasons, how they Go Media Stadium, how they make it look. And it is a good stadium for sports watching. It's not the easiest place to get to, but it's a great place, especially because it's a rectangular stadium.
Yeah.
So it's great for rugby league, and I reckon it'd be fantastic for football. I've been to football matches there before, of course, way back in the day, when it was Mount Smart Stadium and its first guys in the lead up to the 1982 World Cup finals, of course.
Yes.
You know, it is traditionally a football ground, an athletic stadium, first of all, isn't it? But yeah, I'm looking forward to going to a few games, mate, and especially the derby.
Yes, yeah, they'll be interesting. I'll be at Sky Stadium with my black and yellow shirt on.
Oh, of course you will, mate. And then if they lose, you'll take it off and reveal your Auckland one underneath, won't you?
Nah. I've been a Liverpool fan for nearly 50 years, so
Yeah, well, you're wearing a Wrexham shirt, so it's
I am wearing a Wrexham shirt. So
until they get to the Premier League, that's acceptable. When they get to the Premier League, you're taking that off, right?
Yeah, I will. I will definitely
Good
take
boy.
it off
Good boy.
once we get to the Premier League.
Good boy.
Lots of other sport going on at the moment. Of course, we've got Scott Razor Robertson's first test this weekend
Yeah,
against
exciting.
the might of England, and it's probably the first time in a very long time that England have actually, or any of the four nations have actually bought out their top team.
Decent side. Are you looking forward to it? Do you feel like a sense of anticipation in the air? Do you feel like people are a bit more excited about the All Blacks? I feel they are.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think probably the end of the Super Rugby competition helped that, because there were some absolutely fantastic games.
Wasn't
in
there?
The last 2 or 3 rounds, those local derbies were just great games of rugby. And,
amazing.
And then the quarterfinals were a bit drab because they were all pretty one-sided.
Oh, come on, mate.
But and the Blues semi-finals and final were fantastic games.
Yeah, the Blues definitely gave the rest of New Zealand another reason to hate them, didn't they? Another reason to hate Auckland. No, they just did so well in that final. I mean, they just we were at the pub watching it, and every time I looked up, the Blues were just smashing their line. It was just a great performance, or like an old-fashioned, really Auckland performance, wasn't it? They played so well, and they've been rewarded by a lot of selections in the first All Black squad. I've noticed Stephen Perifetta has been selected in that first game, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a good selection. I don't know if Beauden Barrett's obviously not been playing a lot of top-class rugby in the last few months.
So that's the wise move, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's a good move by Razor. I think that's the sort of thing he'll do. I don't think he's scared of straining on. He picks the right side. There has been a few dissenters to the Robertson sort of ascension to the All Black chief job, hasn't there?
It certainly has.
And I would just like to say that once he starts winning, I think they'll all shut up, won't they?
They will.
It's like anything with the All Blacks. Everyone always, there's always a lot of talk. It was like when Henry didn't win the World Cup and everyone said, "Oh, he should be sacked. Sack him." As soon as he won that World Cup, as soon as actually they started getting on that winning run, everyone just shut up. It just all went away. So I think that's what Robertson basically needs to do, and I think he will do that. He's just a bit different, isn't he, mate? He's just a bit different.
He's a lot different to every other All Black coach we've ever had.
To your company, man, isn't he? He's like so different. And I think you got to applaud the New Zealand Rugby Union. We don't do it very often, do we? But for me, I think they've appointed the right guy finally. Took them long enough, but they did.
I think the process they went around by doing it wasn't the greatest, but I think they should have told him, "You've got the job, but we're not going to announce it until after the World Cup."
Yeah, I mean, after all this, they better bloody win.
Yeah. I mean, I was never an Ian Foster fan right from the start, and made it quite publicly known that I wasn't a Foster fan.
Yep.
But still, I did feel a bit sorry for him with that black cloud.
World Cup.
You're not going to be the coach after the World Cup.
Yeah, that was a bit
over him.
Yeah, that was a bit petty, really. I mean, it was like the whole, why do we have to turn everything provincial? We have to start going provincially. I mean, that's the thing. Scott Robertson, he's a Crusaders guy. It doesn't matter. He's the best coach. Just go with the best coach. And I don't think Foster was ever the best coach. That's the main reason I didn't want him there. I didn't hate him.
Yeah.
Because he was from the Waikato or anything. I just didn't think he was the best coach. So, we do get nasty sometimes, so don't we?
Talking of provincially, the provinces had their way at the AGM recently, didn't they?
They did. They know how to make the hard decisions, don't they? By basically not making any decision. I don't know. Where are they going to go, Macca? Where are they going to go with all that? They really need to, there just needed to be some amalgamations. There needed to be some real tough decisions made. But in the end, they just decided, no, we'll just stick with the status quo and watch the game dissolve in front of our eyes. I don't know.
Bury our heads in the sand and
pretend there's no problem.
Well, it's the old saying, isn't it? Just keep doing the same thing, but hoping for a different result.
Yeah. And in 2024, it's a bit different from when you were doing it in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's been a bit quiet on that front for the, since that meeting took place, and and the actual rugby is held centre stage, which has been good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally, I think we're going to end up with 2 organisations running rugby in New Zealand.
Interesting.
There'll be a professional organisation, and a bit like in England with the football, you've got the Premier League run the Premier League, and the Football League run the rest. And I think we're probably going to end up with something similar here. You'll have a professional organisation running the All Blacks, Super Rugby, Maori All Blacks, or all professional rugby, and then it'll be another organisation running Heartland Rugby.
Yeah, well, that's probably what they should do. I mean, that's probably what they would be discussing now if they had decided to make some hard decisions. But
exactly. And it's interesting to see that the former All Black manager, Darren Shand, has been replaced by about 3 different people. And they've even got the All Blacks have their own commercial manager.
There is a lot of people
commercial manager just for the team.
That's crazy. There is a lot of people working at New Zealand Rugby. A lot of people. I mean, thousands of people. And you sort of do wonder, don't you? Is it all necessary? Is it all necessary?
Well, yeah.
And speaking of organisations that are run fantastically, we have just had a cricket T20 tournament, and the Black Caps did absolutely fantastic. The whole tournament blew up in our faces when we got smashed by Afghanistan, if you'll excuse the pun. And even the USA. If you'll excuse the gun.
What tournament? Was there a cricket tournament on?
And see, that's the thing, mate. The T20 stuff. I mean, you and I have been saying it since we started this podcast. It just doesn't float my boat anyway. I mean, I turned it on because New Zealand's playing, but once they got knocked out of once they got knocked out of the tournament, I'm just not interested, and I didn't watch any more of it. Does that make me?
I didn't see a single ball of the whole tournament.
The thing is, it's not cricket for me. It's not cricket. And I'm not saying that in the way, it's not cricket. I'm saying it's not the sport that I loved. Cricket to me is one of those games, it's pastoral and there's tactics going on all the time outside the actual action in the game. And T20 has just made it all about the action in the game. Who can hit it further? I can hit it further. I've only got a limited amount of ball. It's about hitting the ball far. Whereas cricket it's more tactics and more chess-like, and it's just all been lost. The nuance of the game, which we love so much, is just
going to be interesting to see if it takes off in America. I think it'll be around for probably maybe 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a novelty factor for the first couple of years. Well, what's this cricket game? Why are they bouncing the ball? Is that a slider or a curveball?
The pitcher's running in. Honestly, I agree. It'll be like the Chinese Super League in football or something. They'll probably get a few players over there playing in their professional league. And it's basically catering to a whole bunch of expats in America. The people that are watching it are Indians, Pakistanis, and South Africans who are living over there.
Well, were there any Americans in the USA team?
I didn't. Well, I don't know, mate. Most of them had different accents, didn't they?
Yeah, including a Kiwi accent.
Yeah, Corey
Anderson.
Well, he's actually got the most American name of all, though, doesn't he? Corey.
Quickly on to the mighty One New Zealand Warriors.
Oh, up the Waz.
It was a great win last week. Not so good.
Wasn't it awesome? Wasn't it awesome? The week before, I was out to dinner with the lads, started getting texts from a bunch of people going, what the hell's going on with the Warriors? I thought, that's the first game I hadn't watched live this year. And I thought, I'll catch up with the score later on. And then more texts came and people were just going, this is just abominable. And I was just like, well, I won't be watching the replay of this. I'm glad I didn't. Flushed it down the dunny and moved on. And so did the team. They just played so well last week. I was so proud of the boys, coming back home after a shellacking like that. You get a full house and they play that good against the Broncos as well, who are now 5 in a row. I think they've lost. And the competition is so up and down. The Warriors can still do it. I'm loving seeing some of these young guys. Tamari Martin and Chanel and the halves, I thought looked really, really good. A future combination. Sean Johnson, of course, who's injured again, and I just think just get him fit. Lots of people say, "Oh, just drop it." People are so quick. They lose one game when the forwards are going backwards. He's a fucking halfback, and they go, "Oh, he's useless. Get him out." Forget what he's done for the past decade. Look, it's one game. People are so quick to judge, So just stick with the boys. I mean, they're playing some good football. We've got some great talent coming back too from injury. And we got the Bulldogs as the warm up for the All Blacks test on tomorrow night.
Yes, quite right. So, and the State of Origin's underway, of course, and it's precariously situated at one game apiece.
It is. But did you watch that second game?
I've seen highlights. Yeah.
Mate, that was awesome for a New South Wales for someone who's been just long-suffering New South Wales fan. I mean, he got smashed in the first game. Reece Walsh, he wasn't the same. I just thought the New South Wales pack just bullied them, and I haven't seen them do that for a long, long, long time, probably since Mark Geyer's days. So, but it's going to be so interesting. Like you said, precariously perched, man. I mean, they're going to Suncorp. They're going to have to go past the Caxton and get all those beers thrown at them. And it's going to be a hell of a game. I'm so looking forward to it. I mean, roll on Origin 3, mate. Fantastic.
Yep. Some plenty of other sport going on at the moment too. I'm not normally a big cycling fan, but gee, I love watching the Tour de France. They have the 2-hour highlights package each morning, and so I've actually got it going in the background while I'm recording this.
Oh, is that why you're so distracted?
Yeah. So when I look
Mark
up like this, I just, Tadej Pogacar still leading.
Good on you, mate. Good on you.
It's just one of those things. Like, again, I'm not a big golf fan, but I do like to watch the majors.
Yeah. I'm a bit like that with the tennis as well. They had Alcaraz the other day. That was a great French Open final. I mean, he was down. He looked down and out, and he's the new Nadal for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a phenomenal tennis player. There's all that great. The thing is, they do say we're in the worst sort of time zone. But the great thing is, you get up in the morning and there's all the sport that's gone on overnight. You just watch it. It's really good. Of course, the supercars is like that as well. You get up in the morning on a Monday morning. Often there's a supercars, like the IndyCars.
Yeah.
IndyCars and NASCAR.
NASCARs.
Oh, both of them are going well. Both of the Kiwis Shane Van Gisbergen going well in the NASCAR, mate.
Yeah, well, they've got the Chicago race this weekend, which is the one he turned up at the first time and won last year. So that will be interesting. Yes, the Kiwis are all doing okay in the Indy cars. I think Scott Dixon was leading for a while, but he
was.
He had a shocking
last time. Yeah.
And Supercars is back this weekend. They're in Townsville, I think. So plenty going on the motor racing track. The baseball All-Star game coming up.
Bobby Bonilla Day the other day.
Bobby Bonilla Day the other day. He got another 1.25 million. And also a couple of other players were on similar contracts and got paid out as well. So,
and how are your Yankees going? Before we go, we've only got about a minute to go. How are the Yankees going?
They were going really well until about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I think they've only won 4 of their last 15.
They've had some tough series, though, haven't they?
They have had a couple of tough series, but they've lost some key players. Giancarlo Stanton, who's been rubbish the last 3 years, has been on fire this year, and he's out with a hamstring injury. Anthony Rizzo broke a bone in his hand. And also Clark Schmidt, who was probably one of our best pitchers at the time. He went down with an injury. So, they've still got one of the best records in baseball. The All-Star break will probably do them good. They need to do something in the trade before the trade deadline at the end of the month.
But the judge is still doing it, mate. The judge is still doing it.
Absolutely on fire. Anyway, that's about all we've got time for. Been great to see you again, Mr. Mahona.
Great to see you too, my friend.
Sport. So, we'll see you next time we record one of these lovely hot air sports podcasts. It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. Like, subscribe, do the rest.